Why should people vote for you?
I think with a background as a City of York councillor, I've got an understanding of the city. I come from the forces. I've served my country. I've served my community. I'm a vote for common sense. So this isn't just about political posturing. A lot of people in the last elections, back in May, for the Police, Fire and Crime Commissioner, voted for me rather than the party. They said they know what they're getting with me. So I'm prepared to ask those awkward questions. I'm prepared to challenge, the Chief Constable, and ask the five whys. The whole, if you ask why 5 times, you'll actually get the answer. I'm a voice of common sense. I understand what's going on. I understand policing, England's largest county. It's tricky, it's difficult, but I want to work smarter, not harder.
You did stand in May, several months ago, and the public didn't vote you in. Have you changed since May?
No, I haven't. It's always an uphill struggle in North Yorkshire. It's very, very conservative. But let's look at the last Conservative candidate they put forward. People are starting to lose confidence in the Conservative Party. The Liberal Democrats just recently took Amersham and Chesham from a Tory MP who'd been sitting on that seat for years and years. People are starting to think, there's an alternative to the big two parties. Labour are going one way, the Tories are going the next. Actually, we're pretty centre. So, vote for change.
So do you think, because you said before people might vote for you rather than the party, so why are you standing under that Liberal Democrat name? You didn't think about standing independently, maybe?
It's nice to have the support that the Liberal Democrats have given me, and they've been superb, from helping with campaigning, funding, donations, literature, PR. It's just having that support. I've got a full-time job. I'm a scout leader. I'm a rugby coach. I'm a City of York councillor. I'm busy. I don't watch a great deal of TV. It's just nice to have the support that Liberal Democrats give me, and I agree in their policies.
And so let's talk about them. Would you be able to highlight 3 priorities in this election?
So the first one is we need to restore trust in the office of the PFCC. So that's going to take a great deal of work. Philip Allen and his comments, and he should have known better, did a great deal of damage. So I need to restore trust. I want to restore confidence and have in the policing system and have more visible policing. And secondly, thirdly, violence against women must stop, full stop. So South Yorkshire Constabulary have got dedicated specialist officers who deal with violence against women. Brilliant idea. I want to learn from that. It's great that the North Yorkshire Chief Constable is also female. So let's talk to her and have her ideas.
Okay, so number 1, restoring trust in the police force or in the role?
In the role, the police force are fine. It's a misconception. The PFCC does not control the police force. They hold the Chief Constable to account and asking those awkward questions.
So what can you do to restore the trust from the public in the role?
Get out, listen to the groups that represent women. And it's not just women that suffer from violence. There's a great deal of hate crime, homophobic violence. That needs to stop. We need to get out and start community integration, community policing, and spread the message that this sort of behaviour is totally unaccepted, should not be tolerated, and will be punished harshly.
So remind me about your second point you raised for us.
More visible policing.
Yeah.
Basically, more coppers on the beat is what we're getting down to. We are England's largest county. There's a lot of rural crime. Have we got the right people in the right place doing the right job? Let's conduct a review. It is hard. Rural crime is moving in the wrong direction. It is remote.
Can we afford more policing?
Well, the government are giving more coppers, which is great, but it's too little, too late. There's been years of Tory underinvestment. It's a sticking plaster. We need to change that. It's lovely saying we've got all these extra thousands of policemen coming through across the country, the country. But let's look at how many are actually leaving and why are they leaving.
So this is interesting. You're a Liberal Democrat and we have a Conservative government. How would that relationship, how do you see that working? Would you be able to influence stuff in terms of funding, in terms of how many police officers we have in North Yorkshire?
Well, the plan is to be a sort of a thorn in the Conservative Party side and make life not awkward but accountable. For me, it's not the red of Labour, the blue of Tory, or the gold of the Liberal Democrats. It's working collectively for the good of the North Yorkshire people. Let's push the party politics to one side, and what is right for North Yorkshire, what is right for York, what Harrogate, all the major conurbations, all the cities, and those in the rural area as well. We all have a right to go about our lives peacefully and lawfully.
Right, you're at a student radio station today on the York campus. Let me ask you about student safety. Have you looked at student issues at all in your campaign so far? We
have. One of the big ones that's caused me a great deal of concern are spiking. I'd hoped that the spiking of drinks was something that happened previously, and got out, and people being injected. You're going out for a good time, and then one or two mindless individuals are spoiling it for others. But let's work with those groups. Let's work with society. Let's work with the clubs and nightclubs to make sure everyone's properly searched. It was great. I had an evening out probably when I was a student, and it was the fire brigade who gave me a bottle top. So beer would come out, but nothing could be put in. It would catch it.
Okay. What about the open letter? Have you seen it from the Students' Union here in York?
No, I haven't, but I'd be delighted to. And should
You haven't seen it?
Not the open letter yet. So, but I'm delighted to.
They maintain that they've sent it to each of the candidates, but you say you haven't seen it. We're recording this on the 13th of November. Yeah.
That's fine. It may well be stuck in my spam box. I haven't seen it personally. But, if I am successful, I'd love to engage with student groups. I'm understanding of the White Ribbon organisation that's out there. But I want to work with them. I'm far too old to be considered a student. There's probably a good 30 years between us. I need to understand the priorities of the students.
So how will you do that? What sort of communication do you see you would have with students' unions, not just at the University of York? There are other institutions in the county, and what form would that take in your mind?
Just off mic, we were talking about the great pie days I have at work. So I'd be quite prepared to do the pie days with organisations. It used to be, let's sit down for a pie and a pint. Well, let's sit down for a coffee and a cake. And let's listen, let's talk. Because there could be some great meetings of minds. There's no moratorium on good ideas.
Okay, let's come back to the priority you mentioned third there, the safety of women. We've talked about it as well through the rest of what we were saying. Just want to push you on that finally. Why are you the right candidate to lead on that?
I've been brought up in a fairly traditional family background, and it's gentlemen never hit women, and that's rung deep with me. Gentlemen protect the fairer sex. Now, whatever that might mean, violence against women has got to stop. Full stop. So let's take a leaf out of what South Yorkshire are doing, and let's learn from what they're doing. Let's start talking to the groups at universities and wider. Let's understand their concerns, and let's see if there's some meeting of minds for a simple change in policy or procedure. You can go out knowing you're going to be safe, and you can come home knowing you're still going to be safe.
James Barker, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Broadcasting to York University. You are why.